Hey players, welcome to another live stream here. For those of you that are new, my name is Josh, and every single Monday through Friday, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. Now, today I'm going to talk about how laziness and bad habits almost ruined my life. But before I do that, I want you guys to be involved here. For those of you that are, this is your first time in the stream, leave it here in the chat. Let me know if this is your first time. And for those of you that are veterans that have been here before, say it in the chat too. Let's see who here has, who here has been around the block, who here has, been part of these live streams. I know the Atlanta boy is someone that he wasn't able to come on the last one. He's back now. So guys, if this is your, second or third or fourth or fifth live stream, let it be known here in the chat. Let people know if you're a veteran. And I do want to get into these stories. I think that they are interesting ones. So all week long, we've been talking about habits, good habits and bad habits, how to set them, which ones to avoid. And I think it's an important thing to cover here during the summer, because during the summer, you have a little bit of downtime. When you're at school and you're thinking about school, your mind is focused on so many things at once. You don't really have time to kind of self-reflect and to look at what you're experiencing, what you're going through, what you can improve. You're worried about tests, and you're worried about crushes, and you're worried about your parents and your siblings and all these things going on. But the summertime is the perfect time to really just sit back and go, what do I want to accomplish? Who do I want to be when I start up school again? So over the next few weeks, I am going to cover, how to get ready for school, how to get yourself prepared for middle school and high school and college. But first, I do want to talk about bad habits and laziness, because we do fall prey to those things too, myself included. A lot of people think that I'm not the kind of person that would be lazy or had bad habits, but that's simply not true. I'm human just like everyone else. So I do want to tell you guys a few of the stories, different things that have happened, and I want to open this up for Q&A. So the more interactive you are in the chat, the more questions we're going to get to. If you see that I don't address a question, don't worry. I'm going to try to address it later on whenever I can. But I do want to share the first story with you. And I think some of you may already know this story, and that is all about my first day of college. Now, when I first started college, I was nervous, I being in high school and being in middle school and all those years, I always had my parents to kind of wake me up, to get me ready, tell me to get ready for school and for me to go off on my own. I was kind of used to that environment, and college was the first time that I was going to kind of be responsible for myself, where I lived in a dorm, slept in a dorm, and, I had to get up on my own, use an alarm clock, take care of things on my own. I didn't have my parents to rely on to kind of make sure I kind of stayed forward with school. So I remember the first day, it was the day before the first day of class. And I remember setting up my alarm clock, turning it on. And I was, I wasn't used to an alarm clock because I was so used to my mom coming in the room telling me to wake up. So I decided, okay, well, let me put the alarm clock on a random radio station. I had an actual alarm clock separate from my phone. Things probably would have been a whole lot easier if it was my phone back then, but I had a separate alarm clock that displayed the time, so I always knew when it was. I remember setting a random radio station there on the alarm clock. And okay, set up to some radio station, put it at a high volume, and kind of went to sleep for the night thinking, okay, everything here is under control. I'm going to, wake up tomorrow. It's going to be fine. Things are going to be good. My first day of college, I'm going to nail this down. So the very next morning, right, I went to sleep and I woke up and I heard the sound of the alarm clock. I heard the sound of the radio station that it was playing as my alarm. And on that radio station, it was playing Backstreet Boys, right? Now, I'm a Backstreet Boys fan. If you guys are Backstreet Boys fans, post a thumbs up in the chat right now. Ain't no shame in it. Backstreet Boys are awesome. So I'm a Backstreet Boys fan, and a Backstreet Boys song started playing. It was I Want It That Way. And I remember half in a daze waking up, half like, oh, what's going on? And I start hearing the song playing, and I tell myself, all right, okay, I'm going to listen to the rest of this song, and then I'm going to get up, right? I'm just going to lie in bed, just relax until I'm ready to get up. I was being a bit lazy there. It was my first day of class, and I was kind of letting laziness take over. And more seconds listening to the song, and when I woke up again, it was maybe an hour and a half later. And I remember looking at my alarm clock, jumping out of bed, getting dressed, and running off to class. I had already missed my very first class on my very first day of college. Now, to me, that felt like a bad omen. That felt like, oh man, now this kind of sucks, because I wanted to start this off right, and I'm already screwing it up. I already missed my first class. And a big reason was because I was just feeling lazy. Instead of, kind of getting up when I knew I needed to get up, sorry, I'm just taking my socks off. instead of getting up when I knew I needed to get up, I kind of just let my laziness take over. I listen to the song, and of course, when you are in that half dazed, state where you're kind of awake, you're not fully aware. And think about it: how many times? And this is what I want to get you guys involved in. I want to get your opinions. Have you ever woken up and either heard your alarm going off or looked at your phone, saw the snooze button, and chose to hit the snooze button? If you've ever hit the snooze button, post a thumbs up right now. Or just say yes in the chat. Say yes if you've ever hit the snooze button. I know there's not going to be a single person in here that's going to say, me, I've never hit the snooze button. We've all done it before. And for me, that's exactly what happened. I chose to snooze when I probably should have gotten up. And I remember running into my second class. I already missed the first. I ran into my second class about halfway during it. And everyone kind of looked at me like, what's this guy doing? I ran into like a lecture hall. So of course, everyone just stopped and looked. But, it was awkward. It was weird. But it was the first time that I had to rely on an alarm clock. I had to rely on myself to wake up. See a bunch of guys posting thumbs up. Same for me. Yes. Thomas Turner says no. So, okay, he's the exception to the rule. Never hit the snooze button. A bunch of us have. It's a common thing. And the reason why we hit snooze is because in that half awakened state, we're always telling ourselves, yeah, I'll be able to wake up in 5 minutes. It's totally fine. I'm in control in this situation when realistically you're not in control. So that was kind of Baylor Hubble says, I'll give you $5 if you say my name. Baylor Hubble. But anyway, so Corey says, I think I've done it by accident. Thomas Turner says, I'll probably hit it tomorrow. Jose says, I have at least 10 alarms. Yeah. So, we all wake up to alarms on our phones, either an alarm clock or anything like that. But that was a learning lesson for me. And the big lesson there was that, I knew that I had to change my system. Having a radio station or music playing wasn't a way for me to wake up. So here's how I played it smart. It was terrifying, but I played it smart. I knew I needed something that was going to kind of wake me up in the moment, get me up, get me alert. So instead of having my alarm clock set to like a random radio station, I set it to like in between radio stations. So it was pure static. So I put it at max volume and all you heard was on the radio. Now, it worked well for me. My roommate hated it because when it went off in the morning, he woke up too in this state of panic, like, oh my God, what the heck is that? And both of us kind of jumped out of bed. I ran, turned off the alarm clock. And then as soon as I heard that, I was so like shaken up by it that I kind of got up, brushed my teeth, did everything I had to do. But that was something that I learned. That's something that I learned along the way, which was simply that. It was this idea that, in order to prevent laziness, you have to kind of set up systems in place. For me, I had a system, but it wasn't a system that I knew would work or wouldn't work for me. And I tested it out. It didn't work, right? So for those of you guys that do use your phone as an alarm clock, right? For everyone that kind of has the alarm set up, I think the best thing for you to do is to turn off the option for snoozing. Now, I know some phones you could do that, some phones you can't. Or if you want to, set multiple alarms. Have your alarms be set to different things. Like Drew Cagle says, what's your alarm now, Josh? Beeps. Mine is the radio. So my alarm now, what I have it set to now is, I don't know how many of you guys are Walking Dead fans, right? And on The Walking Dead, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but there's a character that gets caught, right? And every single morning they start playing this song to wake him up. And he's like trapped inside of like a little cell thing. And it starts playing, we're on Easy Street and it feels so sweet. Well, the world is but a treat right here on Easy Street. And they keep playing that song every single morning just to like shock him and throw him off and make him feel disoriented. That's what my alarm clock is set to now. Now, it's not like a bad song. It's just like the song that they used in the show. So I was like, oh, I'm going to use that as my alarm clock because it's a throwback to the show. It's funny. And it gets me up in the morning. So when I hear that alarm go off, I immediately jump and I immediately get out of bed. So, I did a video earlier this week about how to be, video yesterday, how to be as productive as you can be in your very first hour awaking. And that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do every single morning now, which is, as soon as I wake up, boom, I get to do my stretches. I go turn off my alarm clock. I go write my morning journal, Morning Sidekick Journal right here. And then I go down, have some fruits, I drink some water, I kind of prepare myself for the day. So those are the different things that I do to kind of prepare myself. In college, I had to learn the hard way. I had to miss class that first time. It took me a while to kind of get into the habit of waking up to pure static, but I definitely took my roommate some time too, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to kind of like find a system that worked for me. And I'm curious to know what your guys' system is. So I want to hear you guys in the chat now. What's your process for waking up in the morning? Do you wake up with an alarm clock? I see a bunch of people sharing your story. I'm going to look through here and read some of it. Do you wake up with an alarm clock? And if you do, is it on your phone, which I'm assuming most people's are? And what is your alarm? Is it a beep? Is it a song? What is it that you guys use to kind of, get yourself up in the morning? And what's the very first thing that you do? For me, it's usually I sit on the side of my bed, I do my stretches, and then I move forward with the rest of my day. Um, let's read through that. Let's read through some of what you guys are saying. My Atlanta Boy says my snooze button is for 8 for some reason. Yeah, so my alarm I set every single day for 7 a.m. And what's funny sometimes is that I wake up. I wake up at like 6:58 or 6:55, and I kind of look over. It's like my alarm hasn't gone off yet. It must be earlier than I thought, and I'll just kind of lie in bed awake, waiting for the alarm to go off. And I'm always like a few minutes before it. I think my body is getting used to that specific time, but I always kind of wake up, right before it, which is crazy, but it really works. So A Gamer says, I set 2 alarms, Josh, and one is on the other side of the room, so I have to get up and turn it off. Yep, I think that's a great strategy. Some people, it's tough, man. When your phone is right next to you, you could just turn over and hit the snooze button or just turn the alarm off or just mute it. Having an alarm on the other side of the room definitely helps. It helps you kind of really, really kind of stay committed to waking up in the morning. And I think this is something not a lot of people realize. It's like when you wake up really early in the morning, before everyone else gets up, you have that block of time to really just focus on the things you want to do. That's why I put a huge stress on kind of outlining your goals. And that was what I talked about in yesterday's video too. Like with this thing, the Morning Sidekick Journal, this helps me kind of just like outline my goals. It's something to look forward to every single morning because I just kind of turn over to the day that it's on, right? If today was day 10 or day 11 or whatever it may be, I turn over to the day, I see what the task is, I kind of write out the different things I want to accomplish, what time I went to sleep, what time I woke up, keeping a log of that. And what's cool about keeping a log of that is that it shows me, hey, am I sticking to my goals? Am I doing the things that I want to do? If you guys are interested, I have the link for the Morning Sidekick Journal down in the description below if you are interested in picking it up and using it to help you kind of outline your morning goals too. But that's basically what I was doing when I was in college. I had to learn the hard way in waking up with the alarm and stuff, but overall it kind of worked out. I got into the habit of waking up on time for class. And what's interesting is that my schedule back in college is different. I used to go to sleep at like 3 in the morning and then wake up at like 8 a.m. or something like that. Now it's a whole different ball game. Now I try to go to sleep at around 11 and I try to wake up at 7. So that's kind of my breakdown. Let's see what you guys are saying here. I punched myself in the face. What? I think I need to scroll up and get some context here. Anthony says, I broke the habit of sleeping past my alarm a while ago. I have my alarm set to a nice morning tune. Yeah, Anthony, see, that happens. If it's like a nice song that is just soothing, you're going to lie in bed and listen to it, which is not the purpose of an alarm, Let's see. All right, Corey, I'll catch you later. Let's see. Stay fashy. My alarm is German SS marching song. I think that would make me pretty terrified to wake up to. Drew Cagle says, you went to Stony Brook, right? They made the NCAA men's basketball tournament this year. Oh, that's pretty cool. CJ says, watch your video before start of my day. Awesome, CJ. And I know you left a comment on the video too. I think that's really cool that, my videos can help you kind of start your day. And for those of you guys that don't know too, if you want kind of that little morning inspiration, every single day, Instagram and Snapchat, I'm constantly posting my daily goals, things you can work towards every single day. So if you want a small goal to kind of just work towards, whether it's just be more confident today, believe in yourself, or don't be so hard, whatever the goal, all little things you can work towards. And I think that's important because we all have our bigger goals that we want to accomplish. I just want to get through high school and graduate. I want to make $1 million. I want to be a big YouTuber. I want whatever your goal is. And then we have our small goals. And I think outlining what those small goals are gives us something to work towards every single day. Let's see. Anthony says, I have the perfect idea for an alarm. Put it as a beep for the emergency alert system. It will wake you up guaranteed. Yeah, right? Or just set it to the opening part of the purge, Like the purge will commence. Let's see. Baylor says, sorry to put that random $5 thing, but I make sure to go to bed at 10 and I set my alarm for 7. I make it the most harsh sounding standard alarm. I put my clothes out the night before. Yeah, that's also another thing too. If you want to kind of maximize the amount of time you have in the morning, try to anything that you can kind of optimize, do that. So for example, instead of spending time in that early morning looking for clothes to wear, lay everything out. Have your shirt and your pants and your socks and underwear and everything, your shoes, everything you're going to wear. Have it laid out the night before. That way, when you wake up, you have those extra 10 minutes to kind of pick out your clothes. You don't have to worry about it. Like you've already done the picking out process. Now it's like you have 10 minutes to kind of maybe read for a little bit. Maybe just sit and be calm. Whatever you choose to do in that moment. A Gamer says, Josh, should I shave before the first day of school? I would definitely recommend shaving. I think starting with the clean look is clean and fresh, and it gives you something new to work towards. You can always grow back in your facial hair, but starting fresh, fresh and shaved, kind of gives people an idea of what you look like without the hair. Mm. But that's not the only story of a laziness that I've experienced. I've experienced laziness tons of times, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have too, right? There have been times where you just feel incredibly lazy. You don't want to get up and do anything. And then there's other times where, you're lazy, but in a way where it's a bad habit, right? So I mentioned also how bad habits almost ruined my life. And this is something I want to talk about too. This idea of kind of saving things for the last minute or just trusting on the idea that everything will work out could be a bad habit, because if you don't prepare yourself for things, if you don't kind of have things situated and ready, then when the time comes, if something comes that that messes up the flow of things, then you're going to be prepared. You're going to have a bit of buffer time. And that's kind of the issue that I ran into. Now, I know a lot of you guys already know this story. A lot of you guys already know the story of how I started YouTube, right? How I first started the Josh Speaks, my very first video. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm going to recap for you. And I kind of want to talk about the bad habit that I had in place and how that had to change. So, Drew Cagel's asking, how long will the stream go? I generally do the streams for about an hour. So it's 5:18 here in New York. I'll do this till about 6 o'clock. Now, when I first started YouTube here, Gamerski says, set your alarm to Gucci Gang. You'll wake up to crush an alarm clock with a break. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Yeah, I think I would wake up. Pretty angry to that. Waking up before your alarm is good. It means you slept good, Randy. Yeah, I mean, if you wake up before your alarm, then you kind of are in the mindset already. Your body's well rested, hopefully well rested enough to kind of get up and start the day. Randy Rich says, I have an alarm for 7:30 and it's a loud beep, but I'm used to waking up 10 minutes before my alarm. Is that a bad habit? I wouldn't consider that a bad habit. I think it's okay. Look, if your body's naturally waking up 10 minutes before, that's fine. But here's kind of what I ran into. Wait, hold on. I'm going to answer a few more of your questions, then I'll get into the story, guys. How did you get rid of I'm speaking too quickly. Let me slow things down a little bit. How did you get rid of your laziness? This is from Keith. If you have the mindset of not wanting to be productive, especially if you need to do something you don't want to do. Okay, that's a good question. So I think a good way to get rid of your laziness, to kind of get out of the mindset of not wanting to do anything, is I think you have to look at first what your skills are, what you're good at, right? Take a look at the things you're good at without putting any effort in, right? Are you really good at gaming? Are you a really good artist? Are you really good singer? Are you really good at building stuff? What are your just natural born skills that you just happen to be good at? So once you've kind of outlined what those are, then asking yourself, well, I don't really care about being productive. I just want to hang out and relax. I don't want to do anything, right? I think to get yourself in the mindset is to speak to other people, to learn their stories, to see where the skills that you have can best be applied to help other people. To me, productivity rests solely on maximizing your time, kind of making the best use of your time so that you can help people, so that you can put more out into this world. So if you don't feel like being productive, it may mean that you don't feel as deep of a connection with the people around you, or as deep of a connection with the world, right? Because if you understand that, hey, there are people out there that that need my help, or that if I were to do this thing that I'm really good at, they can benefit and I can make people smile and I can make them happy. That's how you learn to be more productive, by having a meaning and a reason reason behind doing what you do, right? Like for me, it's like, do I want to wake up every single day at 7 and like record my videos in the early morning? It's like I'm tired and I'm groggy and it's like, but I understand it's for a bigger purpose. I know that by putting together videos, by sharing my thoughts, by interacting with you guys, I'm doing something good. I'm helping people. So I've learned how to kind of set up my day and set up my time so that it works for me and that it also works for you guys so that you guys get videos to watch and then I don't feel like I'm tearing my hair out or something like that. A Gamer says, Josh, your gym video was hilarious. Thank you, man. I did it a long time ago, but it was a fun video. Thomas Turner says, my bad habit is not having much sleep while at school time. So Thomas Turner, do you find that you tend to fall asleep during class a lot? Because a lot of times when you don't have good sleep or straight 7 hours, 8 hours of sleep at night, you tend to start to fall asleep during class. Your head starts to doze off and you can't concentrate. You can't think straight. So I think a lot of us have been in that position before. But all right. So I want to share the second story with you guys, which is how my bad habit of kind of leaving things for the last minute and just assuming things will work out ended up biting me in the butt. So what ended up happening was when I first kind of decided I want to do video projects, I want to kind of record things for people, I want to do little short films and everything like that. I had taken on a project, and this project was for a little league kind of basketball team, and I was going to record a commercial for them. Right. So I was going to put together, like record the kids playing, put their logo, put this, put that. Oh, come join. It was supposed to be like a little 30-second to a minute commercial for them. Now, I'm yawning because it's hot in here. So my apologies. But so I was supposed to put together this commercial for them. And this was all the way in the cities. Now, I don't live in Manhattan, the city. I live in Brooklyn. So it's a bit of a trip to get there. It's maybe 30, 40 minutes by train or so. But on the weekends, the trains don't run normally because they do construction. They do all these different things. So that 40-minute trip, considering that before I would just go from point A to point B, now I had to go from like point A to point C to C to D and D to B. I had to hop around on the weekends. But I didn't take that into account. I kind of just assumed it would all work out. So I get on the train and I realize, like I look at my phone, it's like GPS says, oh, it's going to take an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. I have to be there at a certain time. I'm not going to make it in time. So I'm just riding the train thinking to myself, okay, hopefully they'll start late, or hopefully they won't mind if I'm late, and hopefully everything will work out. I ride the train on over, had to hop on a bunch of different trains. Eventually I get it at the train stop and I ran so fast to go to this place. And I didn't really know where it was. So I was going down the wrong block and I'm looking around and I'm carrying all my camera equipment, my tripod, my big camera, my this, my that. And I'm running to go find this place. Eventually I get there. Eventually I go inside. I'm covered in sweat. The guy looks at me as the kids are all packing up and he's like, hey dude, you're late. You missed it. Like, we're not going to work with you. And that was it. I walked out of the building and I told myself, this is my very first project here. And I just kind of screwed it up, which was not cool. So, I ended up sitting there thinking to myself, what could I have done better? How could I have planned this better? And I walked over to a park. There was a park down the block or so. And I sat down and I told myself, you know what? I'm going to record a video because I have my camera here. I have the tripod. I have all this stuff set up. I'm just going to record a video talking about how I could plan ahead. Now, this video ended up being the first video of the Josh Speaks. So in essence, it worked itself out. But in that video, I talk about how I had a bad habit. And the bad habit was simply, not anticipating or setting up or giving myself buffer time. Now, we all kind of do this, right? We all do this from time to time. We know we have to be somewhere at 6 p.m. and we're kind of still hanging out at home. We're like, it's not going to take so long to get there. And it's 5:50 and then we start rushing to get ready or we end up showing up late. I want you guys to be honest here. If you've ever waited to the last minute to do something, leave a thumbs up right now because I'm pretty sure we all have. In the morning to leave, telling your friend you're going to meet them at a certain time. Have you ever kind of been in that situation where it's like, don't worry, it only takes 10 minutes to get there, I'll be fine, and you realize that a million things pop up in the last second? That was kind of what I encountered, what I was experiencing there. So I sat there in the park and I told myself I'm going to record this video about planning ahead and kind of really just staying focused and how do I kind of give myself enough time to prepare for projects like this. And that's kind of what my experience was. I ended up recording that video, putting it online. It became the Josh Speaks over time. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up here because we all kind of take advantage of that. A lot of us have that bad habit of kind of waiting to the last minute to do things, or kind of telling ourselves, it'll be fine if I do it 10 minutes from now, do it 5 minutes from now. But it's not a good habit to have. One, because it makes the person on the other side wait longer, and it makes them annoyed, and it kind of bothers them, and it makes us seem like we're not people of our words. And I know you want to be someone of your word. I want to be someone of my word. We all want to be someone of our word, that when we tell someone we're going to do something, when we tell someone we're going to be there at a certain time, we stick to it. And we don't kind of pull their chain and loot them around and just, kind of lie about it, essentially. And that's kind of what I had did. It's like, at the time, I remember when I recorded that video, I was angry and I was annoyed and upset at the guy, but really it was all in my hands. It had nothing to do with him. If I had left earlier, if I had planned ahead better and knew that, hey, the trains are going to take longer on this day, I would have gotten there on time. So the mistake was fully mine. It took me a long time to realize that, because one of our natural instincts is to go into defense mode whenever we feel like we've done something wrong and someone's kind of like putting it on us, right? Have you guys ever been in that type of situation where, you're late for something, you do something wrong, and someone starts calling you out for it, and you're like, well, you do this, and you did this, and how come you did that? And why are you bothering me with this? Like, we flip it over. We get defensive because no one likes to be told that they're wrong and that they've done something wrong, even if you know that you've done something wrong. So that was kind of my situation there. That was a bad habit I needed to learn to improve. And, look, it's still something that I do from time to time, right? I tell myself, I got to leave the house in 5 minutes to get there at like 3 o'clock, and it's like 2:58, right? One thing that I'm trying my best to is, for this, for example, like I've been setting these live streams every single week at 5 p.m. on Thursdays. And let's say I'm downstairs and I'm working on stuff at like 4:50. I tell myself, you know what? I could probably wait till 4:55 and then go upstairs and make sure everything's set up, but let me go right now. So I give myself the extra 5-10 minutes padding time to kind of set everything up. Even then, I don't start exactly at 5 on the dot. It's usually like 5:01 or whatever, but that's okay. That's not the end of the world. But it's something I'm trying to get better at. Just be very, very succinct with the amount of time I do something and when I start doing something. And that was something that definitely was a slap in the face when I recorded that first video for the Josh Speaks, and definitely is a slap in the face when someone tells you, we're not going to work with you because you showed up late. So that's kind of the situation I ran into. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say if you've been in situations like that before, where, showing up late to something and it was your fault. You kind of like didn't know how to start it. You didn't know how to get the conversation going with that, or to take ownership of what you did. So Anthony says, this is not a test. This is the emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual notification squad sanctioned by the Josh Speaks. Baylor Hubble says, when I was in grade school, I always waited till the night before at 2 a.m. to do the whole project. But now in college, I've gotten better. Yep, that's an interesting point, Baylor. I'm glad you brought that up. Josh is wearing a cloak. I guess it looks like that, right? Looks like I'm wearing a cloak. I'm wearing like a long cloak. Yeah, that's a good point. That was something, oddly enough, that I was always pretty good with. This idea of you get assigned something, it's a class project and stuff, and you do it ahead of time. That was something that I think I had a good habit on. I was never one of those people that like to leave schoolwork for the last minute. I always felt incredibly nervous about that. I'd feel like, oh my God, I don't want to spend the night before quickly writing or putting together some junky stuff just so I can get it in. I wanted to really try my best. I wanted to try my best to really get my assignments done and have them done on time so that I didn't have to worry about anything. So that was kind of my mindset. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. How many of you guys leave your schoolwork for the last minute? Leave a thumbs up if you do that regularly or if you've done that before. It was something that I try my best not to do. I try to get my schoolwork done as soon as I can. Hey, Xander, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. I haven't seen your vlog yet. I did open it up. It's in my history because I was going to watch it. That's how I watch videos, guys. It's pretty weird. If I want to watch a video, instead of clicking the watch later button, I'll click on it, watch like a second of it, so it's in my history, and then I just go through my history to rewatch it. I don't know. It's a weird system, but yeah, we're getting a lot of thumbs up in here for people that leave schoolwork to the last minute. I get you, man. I get it. I get where you're coming from on that. Sometimes you just don't want to do schoolwork, especially when you come home from school and it's like the last thing you want to do is kind of think about work. You just want to relax and hang out. But it could be a bad habit that you set for yourself, because what ends up happening is that you just kind of neglect your responsibility, and then it's eventually going to catch up with you. You know, you can't avoid it. It's going to happen. You have to do that homework. You have to do that paper, and you have to hand it in. But you kind of leave it to the end, and then hoping that it goes away. But it doesn't. It's going to be there, and you're eventually going to run into, butt heads with it. Anthony's saying, Josh, you should post your Discord on your channel bio so it can be public. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I think I might just make my Discord public. I wanted to set it private at first. Not even private, but just hand out the link and share the link with specific people so that they can help me kind of set it up, which you guys definitely have done. For those of you guys that don't know, I have a Discord set up. And if you're interested I'm going to make it private, but if you're interested in getting into it and being a part of the Discord as soon as possible, shoot me a DM over on Instagram at the Josh Speaks, and then you can be invited to the Discord over here. This is the Josh Speaks Discord. We talk about a bunch of things here, dating and motivation and school and sports and gaming and all this fun stuff. So if you use Discord and you want to be part of the Josh Speaks Discord, let me know on Instagram and I'll add you guys in. You seem tired, Josh. Gamerski, I think I'm just super hot right now, right? I have the lights on. I have the window open, but it's like super hot in this room. So I'm kind of like drained. I keep sipping my water. I start with a full glass of water. I'm at halfway now. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm tired. I'm just like sweating to death, but that's okay. It's all good. Atlanta Boy says, yeah, you believe in God, Josh. Personally, I don't believe in God. I've made a video on this explaining my ideas and my thoughts on belief and God and morality and all these things. So definitely search my channel. You should be able to find that. Will you accept requests in Discord? Absolutely. Yep. I'm probably going to make it public so that all of you guys can join. But for now, I just wanted to set it up as private just so I can kind of get all the channels set up and have people help me with that. Jesse says, hey, Josh, I need to wash dishes right now. Help. What do I do? Well, we're talking about bad habits and not being lazy. So I think you need to go wash the dishes, man. As much as I'd love you to stay here, if you can watch the stream while doing the dishes, that'd be twice as cool. But if you got responsibilities, man, you got responsibilities. I know what it's like. I wash the dishes, man. It's no joke, Alex Martinez says, what would you do if it wasn't for YouTube? That's a good question, Alex. I definitely think that I would still be making inspirational content, or I'd aim to make inspirational content. I think the reason why I put it on YouTube is because this is one of the biggest platforms out there, right? YouTube is the second largest search engine, and people are on it. People watch videos on it, and this is where the action happens. So I definitely would be, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Snapchat, I'm on Facebook, I'm on all these places, but I feel like YouTube is the home base for it all. So if YouTube wasn't around, I would probably pick another home base and keep doing the same thing. CJ is asking, is studying last minute not good? I don't think studying last minute is good. I think really when it comes to studying, there are a few things. I've done a few videos on studying if you're interested, but what I would say about studying is this, that the best thing really to do is, one, to set up a study group with friends in your class, right? If you can meet up with different people who are also studying the same thing or have the same test or anything like that, it's way easier for you to, because here's what happens when you study. When you study, certain things make sense to you, certain things stick in your mind, like you become locked down on a certain piece of what you're studying. If you're studying with other people, their minds are also becoming locked down on different pieces. So when you guys talk to each other, it's more common language, it's easier, it's more broken down. It isn't like teacher speak, it's normal speak, right? Like this person will explain things to you in the simplest of ideas. You'll explain to them in the simplest of ideas. So if you have a study group of people, you can all help each other learn easier in a much easier way. Like these complex ideas get broken down into much easier communication patterns. So form a study group, and if you can, try to study before the test or daily. And by that, you could simply just look over your notes for the day and kind of review whatever it is you went over in class. Because by reviewing whatever it is you went over in class, you're kind of getting a refresher for the day. If you're going to look at something from like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it's not going to be easy to remember exactly what was being taught. Like I know I have this issue where it's probably a bad habit of mine where I would take notes, let's say during class, I would take lots of notes, but I wouldn't write out a full idea. I'd write out like a word or 2 words or like a piece of an idea. That way, when I look back at it later on, it's like, what the heck does this mean? I don't understand what this one word is or what these 2 words are because I didn't write out full ideas. And I think in the moment you tell yourself, oh yeah, okay, I get this word means that. Oh, I get that means that. But in a week or 2 weeks from now, you're not going to remember. So try to write out full ideas, full thoughts. It'll be so much easier upon reflection later on. Atlanta Boy says, what's the first largest? Google is the number one search engine. YouTube is number 2. I could tell. Stay Fashion says, I could tell you from New York by the way you say water. How do you supposed to say water? Water. Is it water? Some people say water. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Atlanta Boy says they make no sense. How you don't believe in God? Hey, Atlanta Boy, if you want, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram or anywhere, and I can explain my thought process and my ideas to you. I'd love to get your feedback. Or on Discord. Maybe I'll make a religion board on Discord, and we could talk there. Who knows? Let's see. Have I ever played Fortnite? Alex Martinez wants to know. No, I haven't. BNHBPMQ, do you have merch? I do have merch. It should be showing below this video. It should be on Teespring. So if you're interested in checking out my merch, I also have it linked up on my channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, like the channel page, it should be over there on the top with the links. Yeah, I have merch on Teespring. I have merch on Spreadshirt. I have a bunch of Josh Speak shirts you can order, which are really cool. So if you're interested in getting some, go pick it up. Noel says, why didn't you answer my question? Maybe I missed your question or skipped it. Jesse says, before I go get to washing the dishes, would you consider making a video on making good habits to improve this upcoming school year? Yeah, Jesse, definitely. I think what I'm going to probably do is sometime in August, I'm going to make a week-long series of videos on how to get your mindset back on school, like how to get ready for school, what to do in that first week of school, how to prepare yourself, how to kind of change your behaviors. I really want to focus on helping you guys kind of jump back into things because I know that's going to be important for a lot of you guys, whether it's getting back into communicating with your crush or just getting back to the idea of waking up early to go to class again, or any of these things that you guys deal with in the first week of school. I'm going to tackle that. I would definitely want to cover those topics for you guys. I think it'll be fun. Let's see. Josh, it's confirmed Josh Plays Fortnite should be a new video. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should do a Fortnite video. Let's see what else you got. I know Noel says I missed their question. Oh, here we go. Noel Nation says, I like this girl, and she said that she is older than me, so she can't date me. But I still want her so bad. She's only 5 months older than me. What do I do? That's interesting. So there's only a 5 months difference between the two of you guys, and she feels like she can't date you because she's older. It's possible that maybe she just mentally decided, like, I don't want to date younger guys. That might also just be a cover-up. She might also just not want to date you for another reason, and she's just saying that. So I would do this. Here's what I would say. Take the time to get to know her better, hang out with her more, joke around with her more, flirt with her more, spend a little bit more time just really, really bonding with her, and see if over time, as you keep doing that, that whole 5 months difference thing just disappears. Because I can't imagine that would be an honest reason as to why she feels she can't, unless there's some insecurity tied into that. But other than that, I think that's something you could probably work beyond. So Xander saying, I'll go to the Instagram after party. Can I go live with you for a couple minutes? So yeah. So guys, for those of you that don't know, every single time after I do a YouTube live stream here, I always jump on Instagram and do an Instagram after party. Now, what's cool about the after party is that there's less people in it. It's smaller. Let me open it up here. Less people in it. It's smaller. It's like I invite people on to do video chats with me. So if you're not following me over on Instagram, go follow me right now at the Josh Speaks. I'd love for you guys to be there. It's always fun. It's just more laid back and cool. But yeah, so join the Instagram after party, guys. Josh, could I make Croatian subtitles for your videos? Gamerski, that would be amazing. Gamerski, if you're interested, shoot me a message after. on Instagram or wherever, and then we can work out that, because I do subtitles on my videos, guys. In case you didn't know, I add my own subtitles. I manually type them in English. But if any of you guys speak any other languages and you'd love to do or be a part of making subtitles for the videos, reach out to me, guys. I'm looking for that. I want to get subtitles in Spanish and Croatian and French and German and Chinese or whatever language you speak. I definitely would love to get more different subtitles on my videos. So reach out to me. We can make that happen. Gamerski, don't worry about Instagram. If you want, shoot me an email at the joshspeaks@gmail.com is my email. So shoot me an email if you want, and we could talk there. Drew Cagle says, Josh, how do you talk to girls with a stutter? That's an interesting question. So, Drew, I definitely want to do a week of videos on making friends, talking to girls, kind of just feeling comfortable with things like stuttering or autism or having a disability or any of these different things that people may feel like are challenging to them. So there's a few YouTube channels that I've discovered where they talk about stuttering or life with stuttering, and I want to bring them on to get their kind of experience and their expertise on the situation, because I think that these are people who have this lived experience of stuttering, and I think that they can kind of really help give you guys solid tips, and I want to kind of facilitate that conversation in that environment. But I'll definitely cover that video though, Drew. So the third story I want to tell you guys is a quick one. It's not so long, but it falls along the lines of the first two, where there's a sense of laziness and there's a sense of bad habits that come together. Now, many of you guys don't know what I'm about to tell you. I don't think I've ever shared it on YouTube. I don't think I've ever told anyone. And I am going to share this with you guys. But if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button here on this video. We're at 30 likes. Let's see if in the next 20 minutes we can get it to 40 likes. Let's see if we can bump it up to 40 likes there. But what I'm about to tell you guys is that a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, whatever it was, I applied to be a police officer. Not many people know that. I don't think I've ever even said it on YouTube, but I applied to be a police officer. And, in doing that, I had to take the written exam and the physical exam, the psychological exam. And it wasn't really something that I wanted to do. It was something that my parents were kind of pushing me to do, saying, oh, you should do it. It's a good career choice. It offers you good options. And I wasn't really too sold on it. I didn't think it was really the path that I wanted to take. But I kind of did it anyway. Simply because, my parents wanted me to do it. They're like, just try it out. So I ended up taking the psychology, fine, going through, passing, it was fine. And when the time came for me to take the, I think it was the physical exam or the cycle. Yeah, no, actually, I don't remember the whole thing. I was either going to take the physical exam or I think the psychological. I think this was actually the psychological that happened. I had stopped by the time I was going to get to the physical. I mean, people are saying Officer Speaks, Officer Rodriguez. But anyway, so there was a bit of laziness there for me because it wasn't something I was driven to do. It was something I felt kind of pushed into doing. So I didn't really care so much in approaching it or trying to make an effort here. But what ended up happening was my bad habit was the same thing from before. I told myself, all right, I'm going to travel up there to Queens. It was really far. I had to go from Brooklyn over to Queens, and it was like an hour and a half car ride, right? I'm going to travel up there to Queens, and I'm going to park. I'm going to go take the test. Well, I waited till the last minute once again to leave my house. And by the time I got up there was no parking anywhere. I was driving around for like 20 minutes looking for a spot, and I couldn't find anything at all. And the longer I waited, the longer I was not there for the test. And, eventually I found a parking spot. Eventually I kind of got out to go over to the building. And when I got to the building, there was a cop there, and I told him, oh, I'm here to take the police exam. And he's like, you're 10 minutes late. You can't go in. And I was telling him like, oh, but I'm just 10 minutes. They said get here at this time. It's starting actually in half an hour. He's like, we told you to get here at this time. You had to be here this time. So I just sat there and telling myself like, 10 minutes difference. I just drove an hour and a half. And because of 10 minutes, I have to go home. So I drove on back home, and I had to call and reschedule it. Now, like I said, the laziness, I didn't care. I wasn't making an effort. And when I told my parents that I missed out on the first exam, they got kind of annoyed. They're like, you should have left earlier. You should have planned ahead. You should have did this better. So I told myself, okay, the second time around, I'm going to do that. The second got maybe 20 minutes to spare, and it was I got in, I took the test, passed the psychological exam, so on and so forth. But it was that first experience of feeling like I had wasted an hour and a half. That's 3 hours of driving, 3 hours of my time, all because I was 10 minutes late. Now, a lot of times, like, and in that moment, I was upset. I was annoyed at the cop. I was annoyed at the cop. I almost knocked my glass of water over. I was annoyed at the cop. I was annoyed at the people. I was annoyed at everyone. But the only person that was responsible for my mistake was me, right? I could blame everyone all day long. But the fact of the matter is that I should have planned ahead. I should have prepared. I should have gotten there early. And the fact that I didn't is my own fault and my own choosing. So that's something I want you guys to think about. I want you guys to really, really ask yourself this. It's like when you encounter those type of situations where you've done something wrong, do you ever find yourself blaming other people or coming up with excuses as to why it's not your fault? If you've ever kind of been in a situation like that where you've done something wrong, but you blamed it on someone else, post a thumbs up or write yes in the chat right now. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have done that before. You know, like you showed up late somewhere, you blame someone else. Something didn't work out because, you know, like you fail a test because you didn't study, you blame the teacher. You know, your crush rejects you, you blame your crush. We have a habit sometimes of blaming other people and getting annoyed with other people when things don't work out for us. You know, especially when it comes to, let's say, asking someone out or a relationship or something like that, or having a crush. We get so annoyed when people don't give us what we want. And I think a big learning lesson from that is simply this idea that we have to recognize that other people have wants and desires too. And sometimes our wants and desires don't match up with their wants and desires. And the best thing for us to do is to recalibrate, to change things up, to try something new, to look at our own behaviors and to say, where can we change? Where can we make adjustments to get things to work for us? You know, a big part of not ruining your life with laziness and bad habits is first taking responsibility for your own actions. If you can take responsibility for your own actions, if you can own up to what you're doing and what you've done, it's easier for you to move forward because you're no longer coming up with excuses and blaming everyone else. So Atlanta Boy says, I blamed my math teacher. Yeah, man, I hear what you're saying. Stay Fashy says, I tend to blame myself for another's folly. That's another thing too. Sometimes when other people screw up or other people do something wrong, we take on the burden. We tell ourselves we've done something wrong. We're the bad ones. We've made mistakes. It's important to recognize who really is at fault, but more than who is at fault, because it isn't a matter of just saying you're wrong, and pointing fingers. It really is a matter of asking the question, what can now be done to fix the situation? Right? That's way more important than recognizing who's at fault, because finding the bad guy, finding the person who screwed up isn't going to change anything. It isn't going to make things going forward more positive. And that's really where your mindset should be. Let's see. Lil Zane says, what camera do you have? So the camera I use to record my vlogs, let me just hold it up so I have it right here, is the Canon Rebel T5i. This is my main recording camera. It has a little pancake lens on it because I have not that wide of a space to record. Little pancake lens, Canon Rebel T5i. The webcam I'm using is the Logitech C180 or something like that. I forgot what it's called. Got good reviews on Amazon, so I went with it. But that's what I use for my recording. Josh, what's your advice on AP classes? I'm taking one this year, A Gamer. So yeah, so I've taken AP classes before, and here's what I think. I think when it comes to AP classes, they're a little bit more involved, a little bit more detailed, a little bit harder. And a big reason for that is because you're being tested for, you know, how well you'll kind of perform in college classes. It's kind of an intro into the college level of classes. I don't think you should be worried or scared about them. It's not like it's going to be like a totally different experience from what you're used to taking. But it will require a little bit more work than you're probably used to. Maybe a little bit more reading, a little bit more writing, a little bit more studying, things like that. So be prepared for a little bit more work, but don't stress yourself out thinking that it's the end of the world. It's going to be super hard. Alex Martinez wants to know, what nationality are you? That's a good question, Alex. So I have always been told, or I've always known that I'm Puerto Rican, but I took the 23andMe test, right? And I found out a little bit more about my background. I'm definitely going to do a video on that because I think it'll be so much fun. But I took the 23andMe test. I found out my background, guys, and I definitely want to share that in a video with you sometime in the future. But as far as I was always told, I'm Puerto Rican. Noel Nation says, how do you ask out a girl? And if you get rejected, how do you make it not awkward around them or if others find out? Yep. So here's Noel. This is what I would say. If you're going to ask out a girl, or there's a girl that you want to talk to, a girl that you like, you ask her out and she kind of says, oh, I'm not interested. No, I don't like you, whatever. The best way to kind of move forward is to just keep on talking to her like she's a friend. Yes, people might make comments or say something, but if you act as if things are weird, if you treat things weird in the situation, she's going to respond to it as if it's weird. And in order for her to not respond to it as if it's, just respond normally, if that's the kind of reaction you want, which probably it is, you have to act as if everything's cool. Make it seem like you asking her to hang out is just a casual, normal thing. A lot of times we build up asking someone to hang out into this big, grand thing. Oh my God, I'm going to ask her to hang out. I'm going to tell her my feelings. Don't tell her your feelings. Don't build up asking her to hang out. Make asking a person out a simple thing. It could be something as simple as like, you're a really cool person. You're a lot of fun to hang out with. What are you doing on Friday? Let's go grab something to eat. Or, oh, I'm trying to get a bunch of people together for the movies. Do you want to come join me? Like, make it a normal, casual thing, because the more casual it is, even if she says, oh, I'm not interested, then it's not a huge like dropping weight on you. It's not a huge rejection. It's just a casual rejection. And you can move forward from that. Thomas Turner says, have you got any British ancestry? I guess that's for the video that I have to make. I'll explain. Let's see. Drew Cagle says, I keep trying to think. I keep thinking Drew Cagle's name is pronounced a different way. So I keep thinking of how it could be pronounced. Anyway, Michael Pro says, I'm your biggest fan, Josh. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Drew Cagle says, do you know about Penn State wrestling? Their coach never lost in college, and their wrestlers win national championships almost every year. I thought you would like to know. That's crazy. I didn't know that. They sound like they got a winning strategy or a way to train guys to win. One more hour says, advice on growing YouTube when you feel like you're going nowhere. Yes, one more hour. Definitely get where you're coming from on that. I've been in that boat tons of times. And here's what I would say. If you feel like you're not going anywhere with your channel, it's just not growing in the way that you want to, I think you need to revisit your strategy for how you're making videos, when you're putting videos up, type of content you're making, and your mission. Your strategy and mission are the two most important things. Your strategy is going to be, how often do I upload? What type of videos do I upload? Am I using good, solid keywords and questions? Am I covering topics that people want to see? And then your mission is, overall, who do I want to help? How are my videos going to impact someone's life and really change them? Two channels I would recommend checking out: Video Creators TV, Tim Schmoyer. He is amazing at helping people kind of craft stories that can help other people. And then Nick Nimmin is another person I've been watching a lot. If you guys got to join the Nimminati, but Nick Nimmin has a channel on lots of little strategies for what you can do to grow your channel. So those are two I would definitely recommend. DeMarco says, what products do you use for acne? That's a good question, DeMarco. I should make a video on that. How I kind of clean my face. I still get pimples from time to time, guys. But I do have a strategy for washing my face. But I do want to say this, that guys, at 6, I am going to be doing the Instagram after party. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, go do that at the Josh Speaks. I go live on Instagram right after this. I invite people on to do video chats. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. All the cool people are at the Instagram after party. So if you want to be cool, come join. But overall, I just want to also share this message. Before I answer one last question, I do want to say this, guys, that all week long, I have been talking about developing good habits and bad habits. And it's so important to really, really address this before you get back to school. I know some of you guys said that you're going to school in as early as 3 weeks from now. So I really think you should spend some time thinking about what are the things that you want to stop doing and what are the things you want to start doing? What are things you can work on? Ask yourself, am I lazy? Do I need to fix that? Like, did I struggle with laziness last year during school? Did I struggle with waiting till the last minute to do things last year? Start this year off right. Start this year off feeling empowered, feeling like you're ready to tackle the school year. Because otherwise, if you don't, you're going to fall back into the same things, guys. And I don't want that to happen to you. Do you believe in the Illuminati? Do you believe in the Illuminati? Just saying, Alex. Let's see. All right. Probably I'll answer 3 more questions here. So Liam says, hey, I've reconnected with a girl and she has a boyfriend. How do I get back into her life as friends, as I love being around her? Okay. So when you say reconnect with her and she has a boyfriend, do you mean that you're reconnected in the sense that you are okay with just being friends, or do you want something more? A lot of times guys will say, I just want to be friends with the girl, but realistically they like her and they want to be with her and they're hoping she breaks up. So you have to be honest there first. think that if you're, let her know that, hey, I want us to stay friends and I want us to be in each other's lives. Even though you're in a relationship, I want us to keep that going. Having that honest conversation is important. But if you just want to really be around her and you want to be her friend because you like her and you're hoping that she'll like you back, I think you need to kind of just let her go and let her be for a bit. DeMarco says, how do you not throw off homework or any mandatory assignments? Yeah, DeMarco, I was talking about this a little earlier. I think the best thing to do is to do the assignment when it's assigned. That's what I would always do in school. Like in college, especially, it's like when I got an assignment for school, instead of waiting till the week before, I would start it the week of. So like if my teacher gave me the assignment on Tuesday, Friday rolled around, I was already starting that project. I was just getting something, writing something down on paper, just getting it down in that Google Doc without kind of, waiting to the last minute. Because think about it. It's like you tell yourself, I'm going to do it a week from now, and you'll see how quickly time passes and you realize, oh my God, I have this due tomorrow. So, all right, let's see. I'm just reading through some of your comments. Mystified, same here. I always want him to win. Let's see. Mystified says, Josh, how do I be more funny when talking to girls, like making her laugh easier? So I think, hey, Vsauce, Michael here. I think a way to kind of be funnier, and I haven't done a video on this, which is a good topic. Thanks for bringing that up, Mystified. To be more funny, I think humor comes from recognizing what's going on in the situation and recognizing the lightheartedness of it, right? So like, if your teacher does something weird or awkward, or someone says something funny, kind of making a joke about that, having fun with life. I think that the best people to be around are the ones who are just having fun with life. They're just easygoing. They're just fun. They're happy with what they are and what they're doing, and nothing's getting to them. Like the people who are constantly complaining or spreading rumors or lying or just all these different things, those aren't fun people to be around. People love being around other people who have good sensibility around them. So if you're the kind of person that just kind of makes jokes and has fun and just is chill and easygoing, I guarantee that girl's going to want to be around you. She's going to like that energy that you bring to the table. DeMarco says, will you ever be featured at VidCon? I hope so. That'd be really cool, DeMarco. One day I'll be on a panel or anything like that. Maybe do the creator keynote. I guess we'll have to see. Lil Zane says, have you done a video on social anxiety? I've covered social anxiety a few times on my channel. All you gotta do is search it up, social anxiety, the Josh Speaks. A bunch of my videos will pop up. I've covered it a bunch of times, guys. Alex Martinez says, what kind of music do you listen to? Oh man, I listen to a bunch of different music. I'm actually going to, I don't know if you guys know who Kina Grannis is. She's a YouTuber here. I'm going to Kina Grannis's concert on Sunday. I really love her music, so check Kina Grannis out. I love Tessa Violet. I love Quiet Company is another band. You know what? I'm going to talk about my favorite music in the Discord. So if you guys want to be part of the Discord and chat about music with me, you can join me over on the Discord. I'll send you guys the link to it. Got a bunch of people rolling in now. But I'll send you guys the link to the Discord. You can join me over there. But right now, I want you guys to join me over on Instagram for the Instagram after party once the stream ends. We'll do one more question before we wrap up. Swifter says, hey, this girl invited me to a 15, and I've been talking to her for about 3 months, but I'm really nervous to talk to her in person. Do you know how to get over that fear? Yep. I think that the way to get over the fear of talking to a girl that you've known not that long really is to take small steps. Those small steps are things like learning about her hobbies, learning about her interests, learning about what she enjoys to do with her time. Just ask these little questions, learn a little bit more, and then in that process, share things you like too. Tell her what your favorite movie is. Tell her what you like to do in the weekends. Tell her what video games you like to play. Share that information back and forth. Get to know each other better. On that note, guys, I do want to say this. Thank you for being a part of this live stream. Hit the thumbs up. We hit 40 likes on this, which is awesome. And thank you guys for being a part of this. I'm going to do one probably next week too. So stay tuned for more live streams, guys. I have a new video coming out tomorrow. Definitely check that one out and head on over to Instagram so we can keep this conversation going. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. I really appreciate those that stuck around from the beginning to the end. It means a lot to me. Guys, thank you again, and I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.